do you want to see them, though, fight each other to figure something out?
No, like I say, I know they want the payday, right?
I know that. They want the payday, huh?
No, they want the payday, right? They want the payday, but I really don't understand why they don't fight each other. They need to fight each other, and then I fight the winner of all of them. I don't fucking care.
That was Canelo Alvarez saying that basically the fight that fans want, they have to fight each other in some kind of tournament to eliminate each other, and then he'll come and pick off the winner and only have to fight one of them. But I'm going to talk about the errors in the thinking of the Canelo man fans and Canelo himself with this theory. For starters, Canelo Alvarez, he's making it sound like he doesn't understand his responsibility in the game. The heavy is the head that wears the crown. Canelo and his fans, they say he's the king of boxing and yada, yada, yada. So you should expect this. You should expect that if you are at the top of a totem pole for people in a sport like boxing to want to challenge that. That's what you sign up for. So to me, this is a decoy from Canelo. The other thing is what you see in these pictures. Canelo collected the belts at 168, and he's talking about, I don't understand why everybody wants to fight me. So aren't you the man to beat in any given division if you have all of the belts? Meaning other guys want to become champions and you have all the belts in the division. Why would they want to fight each other? Like, we got to really analyze and see. This is what I do well. And this is what the Canelo man fans and detractors don't like. You have to be able to do reflective and critical thinking. And what Canelo is suggesting and his fans are suggesting really doesn't make sense. Answer these questions in the comment section. Why, if you have all of the belts and you're supposed to be like, so Canelo's and his fans, they want to say that Canelo is the face of boxing, but they don't want to face the music. They don't want to have to face these challenges. If you are truly the face of boxing, like Floyd said, it come with the territory, and you should be well expecting for guys to want to challenge it, especially when you've done something that even Floyd hadn't done in his division, which is become undisputed in a particular division where he had every single belt. Obviously, Floyd, biggest thing in boxing, etc., but there was never a moment where he had every single belt, right? In my opinion, and I'm just being real, all undisputed journeys are not the same. Canelo's run is nowhere near Bernard Hopkins becoming undisputed, Jermaine Taylor, or guys like Usyk, or even Josh Taylor, right? I think all of them have had completely different journeys because Josh Taylor didn't have the luxury of sticking to predominantly one style of fight. Josh Taylor had to fight Regis Prograis. He had to fight against Victor Postal. He had to fight against guys like Jose Ramirez. Ramirez is a threat at 140. He just won his fight over the weekend, and he has a completely different style to a guy like Regis Prograis. Canelo Alvarez, he could have been 160 undisputed, but that means he would have had to beat Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade, and those are very difficult fights, very difficult fights. So, you know, it's just becoming laughable what Canelo is doing and saying, and how fans pretend to act like they don't see this, where everything I'm saying, like it's not true, like I'm not the realest in the boxing game. You know, Canelo's saying he doesn't understand the pressure. I don't understand why don't they fight each other. Okay, so using Canelo and his fans' logic, let's say Charlo and Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez fight each other. This is clearly, because I know what it is, this is clearly an old media argument that Canelo and his team and whatever have read in the comment sections. And the thing is, when you think like old media, you tend to fail because these aren't thought out, meticulous things. But me being as smart as I am and the person I am, I'll play devil's advocate and I'll fancy your argument just for a moment. So hypothetically, He says, I don't understand why those other guys, Andre, Charlo, Benavidez, won't fight each other, right? Despite what I just told you about he has all the belts in the division. Of course they want to fight you. You're claiming to be the face of boxing. Of course they want to fight you. But we'll just set that aside, right? And let's say Jermall Charlo moved up from 160 to 168 and fought against David Benavidez. David Benavidez nor Charlo are champions at 168. So although it could be a good fight, what does that prove? What now makes them more worthy that they fought each other, that you can now fight them when even if they fight each other, it's not like it's a unification. You get what I'm saying? So what's the difference? And I keep saying, why is there a prerequisite for PBC fighters and also Andre, guys you could have and should have fought for years at this point, but there's no prerequisite for Gennady Golovkin. In fact, Canelo can contradict himself and say there's no reason, Golovkin has nothing to offer. Golovkin still hasn't done anything, and he could get the fight because you're claiming it's a grudge and he's been talking trash. I haven't even seen Golovkin. I barely even hear about Golovkin anymore. So we know what games Canelo's playing. As you guys see, he's scheduled for an April fight against Ryota Murata in Japan. We don't even know how that'll go. But you see he hasn't fought since December 2020. So it's like a year and a half, 2 years or whatever. This is about a year and a half since he fought, right? So how come Golovkin don't have to fight against Benavidez or Andrade or whoever? He's not even active. He's a 40-year-old fighter, not active, and he don't have to do nothing special to impress you. There's no obstacle course. There's no prerequisite. He could just get the great Canelo fight. And the way Canelo moves, this is why he will always have these stigmas and criticisms. Bivol, he hasn't even looked good in his recent fights if you know boxing. He's been fighting on co-features. They haven't been fights that are like any level of inspiration or any level of exposure. Most of the Canelo, I can assure you this, majority of the Canelo Man fans have not even watched Dimitri Bivol's last 3 fights in a row in real time. Not like, oh, you went back on YouTube and skimmed through it. I'm talking about watched it when it aired in real time. But this is what we're dealing with when we're dealing with radical fans. Meanwhile, David Benavidez he's looking spicy, he's sizzling. Jermall Charlo, he more often than not, he's been having better and great performances and good performances. And these are just guys with bigger brands. So it's just funny to see all these obstacles and prerequisites for Canelo to finally step in the ring with a Benavidez or Charlo. Guys who are actually young guys. And here's an ego fun fact. If you look it up, Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo, they were born in the same year, right? They were born in the same year. And they're actually a few months apart, if you guys would believe. They're only a few months apart in age. Meanwhile, Golovkin is clearly older than Canelo at age 40. By the time they fight, he will be 40. You see what I'm saying? And Canelo has no problem with fights like that. And Golovkin, nor Bivol, nor Yildirim, or Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. I mean, no one else had to do what he's asking for Benavidez and Charlo. So he's willing to like go to the restaurant and fight Bivol, Triple G, possibly John Ryder, or Makbuk Air a la carte. He could fight them a la carte, meaning he'll just, okay, he's going to buy the steak, buy the loaded mashed potatoes, baked potato, and the asparagus all separately. And he's willing to pay those prices. But then PBC restaurant, he says everything has to be included. I'm not doing a la carte. You got to make a meal and have everything on a plate for me. You know, so we already know what time it is. Like, how do you do 3 fights that people that aren't big fights? We'll just put that. Aren't big fights, and you'll do them a la carte, and you want to do those fights independently. You'll go one by one separately. They don't have to gang up and fight each other, and then you fight the winner. But this is what you're saying only for the fights that would probably, like, for example, let's just use and apply logic like I do often when I do my videos. Why would you want Charlo and why would you want Benavidez to fight each other and only pick off the winner when you can make massive paydays by fighting each independently? Because you don't want to fight them. You don't want to give them that opportunity. Listen to what I said again. Why would you want them to eliminate each other and supposedly pick off the winner when fighting Charlo, let's say in Texas, would generate huge money, and you would have independent pay-per-view sales? That would be like Floyd Mayweather telling Canelo and Maidana that they had to fight each other or something like that, and then he'll fight the winner. So that means it would only be Mayweather versus Canelo. But as it sits, he didn't make Maidana move up to 54, 55 where Canelo was at the time and eliminate each other. This is what he's telling Charlo to do. He's telling Charlo, move up to 160, from 160 where you're a champion, move up to 68, fight David Benavidez, and I'll fight. So the reason being is if you know business and you're really trying to enhance your cred or legacy and brand and bank account, then it made more sense for Floyd to fight Maidana and fight Canelo separately, because Maidana did better than Canelo when they both fought Mayweather, and the Maidana fight spawned a sequel, so Maidana got 2 paychecks. So now, just simple business, simple arithmetic. Now Floyd was able to do events where he got squeezed 2 fights out of Maidana, which were good fights, and then he got a separate 3rd fight from Canelo. So you see, like, these are all independent pay-per-views. So you actually score bigger by diversifying, if you will. But if you're telling these 2 people on the screen to fight each other, you're not really diversifying, you're consolidating. And that's the difference. And why then that raises the question, why are you trying to consolidate? Why didn't you tell Zordo and Better Biev, or Zordo and Bevo, or Bevo Better Biev to fight and then come fight the winner? Why are you playing it like that only for these fights that people want to see independently? Man, you can't make this make sense. Subscribe to the channel. Holla at the boy. Enema. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.